the biggest update is the Niners, well, they're actually hiring. By that I mean the Niners need a quarterback. And did you see that Baker Mayfield is on waivers? Well, what's likely to have happened is, right, Baker's guy goes into the Panthers like, hey, look, man, this isn't working. You guys are already giving Darnold a shot. You got P.J. Walker. Like, you're not going anywhere. This is not a long-term relationship. Let's just call it a day. With the idea in mind, he played in this system when he was in Cleveland, and though no one would argue that he's absolutely better than Garoppolo, Brock Purdy's a guy that, well, suddenly he's obviously a lot more accomplished. Look, I mean, stop me if you heard this before, but Jimmy G's injured, right? Guy always gets hurt. And for Baker, this is like the perfect Baker story, right? When he was in Oklahoma, they had better players than everybody else. And he was great at being the ego, being the personality, but getting rid of the football and getting to somebody else.
Just anytime a player gets hurt, especially when it's a season ending, you know how much these players put into it and how much rides on just for their career, their family, everything is based off of staying healthy and stuff. So from the individual, for whoever it is, you're always crushed because it's a very tough sport, and this is what these guys commit to coming out of college.
Here's Kyle Shanahan on Mr. Irrelevant, Brock Purdy, Iowa State quarterback, who as of now is his guy.
Now it's about playing, getting the guy experience. I mean, he got a lot of experience in college, but this is really his first NFL game here, and he's going to get a lot more going forward.
Here's Brock Purdy and what Jimmy G's been like.
I feel like there was a little, just like the whole butterfly feeling of, all right, man, like, we're going in. Let's do this. It wasn't like, I was out there, like, shaking and like, oh, shoot, what do I do? What's my read? None of that, man.
Here's Fred Warner. Okay, he's a 9-time Pro Bowler on Brock Purdy.
If you ask anybody how I feel about Brock Purdy, like, I have the most respect and confidence in him because I see him every single day, on the scout team, the way that he comes out and prepares and competes, the confidence he has, the swag he has. Like, I got all the confidence in the world in Purdy, and that's a lot. It's a lot to ask of a rookie, obviously being thrust in the position he's in, but at the same time, he doesn't have to do too much. He's done a great job of getting us ready every week, defensively. So, like I said, I have all the confidence in him. He's prepared, he's ready because he's played against the best defense in the league for the past 13 weeks, so he's going to be just fine.
What do you think, Jay Stu? You think it's going to be Baker, or you think they'll stick with Brock Purdy? They signed Josh Johnson too, right? Josh Johnson's the guy. He was with Harbaugh a bunch of times. He played for Harbaugh in college at San Diego, right? It's been like 14 teams in 13 years. Do you think it's a Baker Mayfield job?
Oh, I don't know about these things. I do know that Baker Mayfield to the 49ers today seems to make sense. Baker is a proven quarterback in the league. The Niners need, I think, a little bit more of a guy that's been there before, that's played in the postseason. It seems to make sense on paper, but I don't know how this works. I mean, when you consider bringing Baker Mayfield into your team, don't you also have to consider that you have this locker room right now that seems great and they're winning? Don't you have to consider the Baker Mayfield personality and putting him into that mix, or no?
Yes, but I think Baker, and obviously at some point in Cleveland it went wrong. I don't think he ever got a chance to establish whether it went right or wrong in Carolina. They were just a mess. They started losing games. He got hurt. Like, the whole thing went bad. Baker's always been actually really well liked in the locker room. I think the issue's been his level of talent. So I think when you meet Baker, you really like Baker. It's not necessarily, it's the Baker TV show commercial. Baker is Baker. I think he didn't handle criticism well, and I think there's a limit to his actual talent, but it's above that of Brock Purdy, and his experience is above that of Brock Purdy, and he's really good. He's actually really good in the room. I actually think it makes a lot of sense, and it could be a career saver for him. Dan Byer, what are your thoughts on Mayfield? Like, these things don't just happen. Guy gets released. It feels like he gets released when San Francisco needs a quarterback, and he's played in that system. Do you think it's a fit?
No. I don't think that Brock Purdy's going to save the day for the 49ers, but I sure as heck wouldn't bring Baker Mayfield in. Absolutely no way. No way, no how, as Rob Parker would say. Not a chance.
Do you want to know? How about this one? This is something I know you guys haven't thought of. But do you know what we finally got? What era we finally gotten out of? We finally gotten out of the quarterback goes down. What about Colin Kaepernick? Right? There was like a 3-year window with Favre after Favre retired where a guy would go down and be like, you think Brett Favre would come back? You guys remember that? Like, you think Brett Favre would come back, right?
I had a name that popped in when you're done. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
I thought Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Yeah. That makes sense.
You know, if we're going to move on to guys that are retired, like that's where my mind went last night. But
yeah, there was Romo for a little bit there, right? Romo for a little bit, and then there's always been this like last 5-6 years has been this Kaepernick thing, and then he had the workout for the Raiders, and there's been nothing since, been crickets since. So it tells you it's not going to happen, right? But still, whether it was ever going to happen or not going to happen, we have finally gotten out of that era of people going like, "Why don't you call Colin Kaepernick?"
It's a new day.
Because he can't play football anymore because it's kind of hard. It's like there's like 15 guys on earth that can actually do it, you know? Anyway, weird year where the Niners are trending in the right direction. Seahawks just keep finding a way to win games. Cardinals appear to be still a little bit of a dumpster fire, right? Obviously, we know the Rams, their season is lost. You look around the NFC and you're like, the Niners could take this thing maybe. But they got to have a quarterback. I don't think Brock Purdy is the guy. I can't see them. It's you're giving a kid the keys to a Ferrari. Don't be surprised if he wrecks that thing in the ravine.
But their defense is so good.
I know.
Like they are playing at an extremely high level. That all he may have to do is just back the Ferrari out of the driveway. That's all that he may have to do. And then the defense can take care of the rest. I mean, you've got isn't that why you bring in Christian McCaffrey as well to add another dimension? With
they have everything. They literally have everything.
Yeah,
and it's literally a really good team. It's honestly like that's why Baker's sitting out there going like, dude, just wait. I got a great running back, a good offensive line, a good scheme, and I got like talented dudes I can just throw the ball to. I got really good wide receiver, got a great tight end. Like you got everything. I don't know if you're going to. It's like having a Ferrari, or it's like having a Ferrari convertible, and like I'm not gonna put the convertible down. Like it's 85 degrees. Like I don't know. Like are you gonna get the most out of Kittle? You're gonna get the most out of Ayuk if you have Brock Purdy as your quarterback, as opposed to if you have Baker.
I will say this, that if there is no discussion whatsoever, it was likely John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan said to Christian McCaffrey, what do you think about Baker?
Yep.
And, you spent a half season with him.
Yep, no question. If Baker's not there, he'll struggle to be in the league next year.
If he gets claimed, if no team claims him, which I don't know.
No team claims him, or if the Niners don't claim him, then you're going to struggle to find a home for him. Because, like you said, they need a quarterback. Though he didn't flourish in that system, he played in that exact same system last year. Kevin Stefanski runs the exact same, I believe, it's the same family. Right, because he ran it with Schaub, right up in when he was in Minnesota. I was in Minnesota.
Houston.
But was Schaub with him? No, I'm not Schaub. Who's the Kubiak? Right, Kubiak was in Minnesota with Stefanski, wasn't he? I'm almost positive it's the same system. Am I wrong here?
No, I'm just so Stefanski was with Case Keenum. During that magical run in Minnesota. And
he was like a lifer in Minnesota. He was a lifer in Minnesota, wasn't he? Didn't he go through like 5 different staffs in Minnesota? I want to say, yeah, I think so. Yeah, he did. But you're right. That was the magical run when he did it with Case Keenum. But I believe that what they run in Cleveland is the Kyle Shanahan-esque sort of offense. It's a big thing for people. Like you can't teach a guy a new offense mid-season. Yeah, you just can't. I mean, sometimes even at preseason, it's like the Russell Wilson, right? He's gotten up there, he's calling audibles from when he was in Seattle. They're like, yeah, we don't actually know what you're talking about there. We don't know any of those words that you're using. So I believe Stefanski's system is built that way. Again, I could be very, very wrong. But if Baker's not there, it's exactly what you said. John Lynch, as a former player, likely called in Christian McCaffrey, go like, all right, give me the Baker. Can we win with Baker? Does he fit in this locker room? Does he fit with what they're doing? And if he's not there and Baker just got cut, and Baker only got cut because they went to him and said, hey, why don't you release him because the Niners need a quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, look at what Baker did on short notice with the Panthers. It may not have been a completely fair deal for Baker, but it was the deal that he got.
Sure. And
didn't do anything with. So if you're the 49ers, just the question is, why would you think anything is different? I just don't see it.
No. You don't see it. Okay.
Yeah.